second T20I between India and New Zealand. Unfortunate that the first one got washed out. So from a three-match, it has come down to a hopefully two-match situation. And hopefully we can, in Mount Maunganui, expect no weather reports suggest otherwise. And this is the pre-match show. And I, Damini Basu, will take extreme delight and opportunity to welcome my panelists for some discussion. Jaideep Mukherjee, thank you so much, Joyda, once again, as always, for joining this show. And in time, also, do we have Shubhan with us? Shubhan, bright smile. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming. And we are yet to get any update about the toss because weather reports suggest otherwise. There is still some delay. So let's spend some time discussing certain things, Joyda, just like the previous day we did, isn't it? Joyda, if we have a game today, by God's grace, if we have one, a lot, both the teams have got ample amount of rest. They would be refreshed and absolutely geared up for some game.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot has changed since we last spoke. The selection committee has been banished. 5 men who matter are no more there in the scene. Well, 4 because Abe Kuruvilla has become GM cricket operations in BCCI. So they were down to 4. But, what happens with a new selection committee is that everybody feels, I'm talking about the ones who are not in the 15 or 16, feel that our chances are again as bright as it was because they come with a new lot of thinking. They think differently. It's going to take a while because BCCI is taking all its takers. November is the last day for filling your applications for these posts. So if I was Sanju Samson or an Ishan Kishan or a Shardul Thakur, I'd be thinking, I'm not being able to break into the 11 consistently. But you never know. New people, new ideas. Maybe they're thinking that we want to do something differently than the previous set of selectors were doing and that regime was doing. And so your hopes get rekindled once again. And you feel that your chances have all of a sudden become brighter than what it was. So a lot has changed. Yeah, I mean, as far as the game is concerned, I think as we spoke last time, Shubhayan wasn't there. He was busy with para football. But we know that this is the U-turn of Indian cricket as far as T20 and white ball cricket is concerned. This is where the resurgence will start. 2015 it happened to England. 2022 it happened to India. What that will do to India next 10 years will tell us. But I think it's clear that the way we are playing is not the right way to play. And not only us, a lot of teams will take a cue out of the way England is played. A lot of teams will take a cue out of the way New Zealand, in spite of not being a big country, not having that many players, not being the number one sport yet, are always up there. So I think, that trend of playing 3 brands of cricket on one road, on one sector, I think that's done.
Absolutely. And we have a fresh update. The toss has just happened and New Zealand have won the toss and elected to bowl first in this second T20. Kane Williamson has opted to bowl first. So, yeah. So, Joyda, please, your thoughts again before we get the playing 11 and I go to Shubhan.
Let Shubhan speak. I love his voice. Shubhan.
So yeah, I think it's a no-brainer to win the toss and field first in New Zealand. There has been rain, moisture. Ajay Jadeja in his pitch report said that there is a bit of grass as expected in New Zealand. So I'm expecting the Pacers to swing the ball up front. They have Adam Milne, Lockie Ferguson, 2 express Pacers out there. So I'm expecting them to trouble the Indian openers up front and a good challenge for the likes of Shubman Gill, Ishan Kishan, whoever plays. We don't have the playing 11 as of now, but especially for the opener and number 3, I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge out there.
And also, if you're batting second with raised batting second, your target's better. Everything also works out for you better. So this is a no-brainer, as you rightly said. And I have a feeling there'll be enough in it because most teams that have played India on flat tracks have been beaten. The best chances that you see England. This is a little bit away from the topic, but England 96 they lost. But since then, 2002, it was 1-1. 2007, India won the series. Then when they went back in 2011, Andy Flower got together with his boys and said, listen, guys, we are playing them on flat tracks. And when was the last time we beat them? 96. 96 to 2011, we hadn't beaten them. So we are losing to them because we are playing to their strengths. 2096, I was there. Wickets were greenish. 2002, I was there. Wickets were flat. It was a very hot summer, 35, 36 degree summer. 2007, again, warm summer, flat wickets. Flat wickets, you can't beat the Indian team. But in 2011, they changed their mantra. They said, listen, guys, we are not winning anyway. Okay? We are not winning. We haven't won in the last 15, 16 years. Let's try and play in them because they've got one Zahir Khan and we've got four. We've got Anderson, we've got Broad, we've got blah, blah, blah. So we have to face one quality fast bowler, one world class fast bowler, and the others are there, Sri Shant and RP and everybody. But they have to face four of our best. And since 2011, you see the wickets in India-England series, they've all been green. Because they feel
Oh,
they have
we
no
have the
chance.
playing 11 journal.
Yeah, go on.
So I'll state, Damini, Hardik Pandya is the captain, Ishan Kishan plays,
Yes, please.
Rishabh Pant, vice captain, wicket keeper, Surya Kumar Yadav, Shreyas Iyer, Deepak Hooda, Washington Sundar, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, Arshdeep Singh, Mohammad Siraj, and Yuzvendra Chahal. So no Umran Malik, no Shubman Gill, no Sanju Samson, no Harshal Patel, and no Kuldeep Yadav. That's the playing 11.
Jada, comments?
Yeah, I mean, everybody can't get a game, so that's understandable. You know, I mean, anybody you leave out of the 16, you feel, oh my God, everybody's a big name out there. You know, the Indian cricket
Yeah.
team, it doesn't get any bigger than this.
Yes.
So that'll always be a case in point. Oh, why didn't this get in? But I'm glad that the people who have got in, and I hope, you know, the first one is washed out. The second one, we'll see how it goes. You know, with New Zealand, you never know with the weather. But what we want is maybe 10 games, 12 games, 14 games to each of them in the next couple of years, in the next 1 year.
Right.
Because this is a version where you're bound to fail more often than you're bound to succeed because, you know, the chances you're taking with ball we bat are much higher in 50 overs and then in Test cricket, it improves as you go. In Test cricket, I can go and say, oh my God, more if I can play 200 balls, I'll be okay. I'll be doing something worthwhile for my team. Here, if you go and say, I'm going to play 30 balls, doesn't matter. What is your strike rate going to be? That's why I always harp on the strike rate more than the runs. The runs are secondary to me. For me, the number one is strike rate. Brendan McCullum, not a lot of runs. Average is 25. But the strike rate, 25 strike rate, 170. So what he has done, he's got 12 ball 25, and he's back in the pavilion. In 4 overs, they're 50 for 1. So he's opened up the game. So that is, for me, in this version, strike rate for the batters is of prime importance. Then the runs and the averages, and the 50s and the 30s.
Okay. Shubhan, I'll come to you. With India getting to bat first in the second T20I, the opening slot was a bit of a trouble for Team India. The World Cup was pretty much evident. Would you believe that comparatively younger opening combination, as we might get to see today, will now, going forward, be beneficial for Team India?
I think, yes, a lot of former cricketers, even Joydeep Da has said in past that T20 is a game of young blood, and we need to put some fearless cricketers in that playing 11, and we are seeing plenty of them out there. Uh, from two right-handers in the World Cup, I think we are going to see two left-handers opening in this game, Ishan Kishan and Rishabh Pant. So for Rishabh Pant, it is going to be a very important series. Not only this one, but the coming 6 months, it's going to be very important for Rishabh Pant how he
And I
adapts
hope
to
and
this.
I give him one position for a while.
Yes,
You know,
exactly,
I played
exactly.
this game. I played this game, and the worst thing is batting at different positions, because
Uh,
especially in this version, because the difference between, opening and 4 and 6 is chalk and cheese.
right,
I could do it in one day cricket. I could do it in Test cricket if I have the skill set. But
Right.
here, you got to get used to that role.
Right.
right.
So, Pant opening 1 or 2 failures, don't push him back. Keep him there. Give him a proper run. Then, when you feel you push him back, then don't try him anymore. Try somebody else. But give him a
Right.
proper run. Yes, sorry, Shubham. I
But
got you.
but uh, but Joydeep, the one matchup. I mean, Pant has had his issues against Express Pace, and up front he will be facing Noki and Adam Milne out there. So it's going to be a big challenge for him, and especially
On
Tim South is also there. He will swing the ball up front, and then you will have to face 150 plus suddenly.
on a green wicket with moisture in New Zealand, life could have been better.
It's going to.
He could have played this in Delhi. So that's why it's also important. See, now he's got an opportunity, but what
Yeah.
conditions, what pitch? Now if we compare this with him playing these bowlers in Delhi or in
Right.
Bangalore or in Mohali
It's
or
going
in
to
Kolkata, totally
hell and
different.
heaven difference.
So that is the reason why he needs a little bit of a longer rope, because his chances of
Mhm.
succeeding diminish a little bit because of the conditions.
Right.
And that would be for anybody, not just for Pant. Whoever opens the batting in New Zealand will, in 2003 when we won when we were the runners up for the World Cup, before they went to New Zealand, we got smashed. We lost every game.
Right.
but we went on to play the final of the World Cup and we lost to an unbelievable team. I mean, that was,
Right.
we'll talk about that a different day. But all I'm saying here is, it's going to be tough out there. That's the reason why he needs an even longer rope than normal. Because, you know, when it's flat, you give him 5 games. When it's not flat and semi, you don't give him 8 games, give him 9 games. Because it's not easy out there. And it's opposite for the bowlers. The bowlers, our Indian fast bowlers should be having a field day because there's enough in it for the bowlers. So if they are going at 440 here, then that's a red flag. They should be 428, 430, 426, 427, picking up wickets. The only way you can stop the flow of runs is by picking up wickets. There's no other way. You will never find 4 bowlers, 424, all of them, and total is 140 for 2. Never. Some, if 2 guys are 424, there'll be 2 guys 444.
Absolutely, I think.
And we have the playing 11 for New Zealand as well. The update just comes. I'll just read out their playing 11. Finn Allen, David Conway, wicketkeeper Kane Williamson, captain Glenn Phillips, Daryl Mitchell, James Nisha, Mitchell Satner, Ish Sodhi, Tim Southey, Adam Milne, and Lockie Ferguson. So, Shubhan, what do you make of this playing 11 by New Zealand? Pretty much the same team that went to play the World Cup. It's just the same squad.
Only Adam Milne has come in for Trent Bolt. Trent Bolt is not playing this series,
Yes,
so
he's
that's that's the only change, and that shows the stability in this New Zealand squad. They are going with the 2 spinners, Sodhi, Mitchell Santner. They have a medium pace, 2 medium pacers in Daryl Mitchell and James Nisham if they need someone to come in and chip in with extra overs. So there's a good balance in this squad. We know what Finn Allen, Glenn Phillips can do against in the white ball format and T20 format. So this is a dangerous side, and back in their backyard, I think they will feel much more comfortable than what they were in Australia, and they did play some good cricket out there as well.
Listen, guys, you know, India and New Zealand
Yes.
have lost the World Cup semi-final.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a decent achievement.
Task. You know, we are
Yes,
going
sir.
very hard at people. Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2, that it shows guts to play Ish Sodhi and Santa on smaller New Zealand grounds against a team like India. This is what I like about New Zealand. They back your players. So not too many teams would have played 2 spinners on such a wicket, and they are fast bowlers. They're fast bowlers. They're all-rounders. Yet they're saying that you guys have had a very good World Cup. I know the ground is smaller. I know the opposition plays spin really well, but come and show what you can do. This is how you grow as a player, giving responsibility. It might not happen overnight. He might come through in the second game, in the third game. One of them might get carted. But you will only know whether you get carted or not once you get into the park. There's no other way to find out. So the point I'm trying to make is this is how you make players. This is how you give confidence to the players. By putting them in and saying, dude, you're going to do it. I know. Come on. And then you give them a run. And then, can you imagine if Santner and Sodhi can hold their own against this Indian team on these small grounds? They're world beaters. They can bowl anywhere to anybody. And that's how you take players to the next level. That's coaching for you.
Right. And Joyada, I'll come to you. One player finally getting to play for Team India, that's Zealand Chahal. The entire World Cup, he didn't get a game for reasons unknown. Please do explain that in such cases, does frustration to some extent set in for players, you know, that I'm not getting a game? And for extremely talented players like Yuzvendra Chahal, and then after a long time, after a major tournament like a World Cup, then you get to play a game.
You know, we will realize one thing, that this Indian team, and when you're part of the bandwagon, then you know your role. Ashwin has come on and said Chahal knew he was not going to play.
Okay.
It's not that every morning he was told out. It doesn't work like that. Even in the state teams, here the evening before, everybody's told who's playing, 12 are given, selected, we have a WhatsApp group, it's given there. Chahal didn't play, that was the right thing to do. Our batting became very weak. We would have lost the game to Pakistan if Chahal had played. Because Chahal, because I don't know who would be batting. I think Bhuvaneshwar Kumar would be batting then. After Dinesh cut, when Ashwin went and hit that, took that wide and hit that 4-over mid-off. That's still an easy shot to hit. Hit a left-arm spinner who's bowling into your body, inside out, over mid-off, and long on was back. So if he hit it to long on, that would have been 1 run. So all I'm trying to say here is that there's a plan in place. We are not privy to it, and rightly so. There's a very closed circuit where everybody knows what is going on. We might feel, oh, Chel not playing, this one's not playing, that one's out. Everybody knows what's going on. It's a very close family. And they're taking a lot of big bets right now because we haven't won the T20 World Cup, but we have only won the T20 World Cup once. We don't win it every year. And we've lost to the defending to the ultimate champions in a semi-final game. So we held our own. Right. Can you imagine if I know the football World Cup is starting, if some team reaches the semi-final and said, oh my God, Brazil, I know they want to win, but semi-final is not that bad. That's the point I'm trying to make here. So Chahal knew he was not going to be in the mix. He knew if he could bat like Ashwin, he would have played before Ashwin. That also he knows. But Ashwin has 5 test match hundreds. So there's a plan in place here. And Chahal knew his chance will come. Ultimately, it's come. And ideally, Chahal should play every game India plays because he's a winner. But that combination, just to get the combination right.
Now that you have a Washington Sundar, you can afford Chahal because Washi is a better batter than Akshar Patel or someone like Ravindra Jadeja. Washi is a better batter.
Yeah, Washi is a better batter. He brings more stability to the team. Yeah, sorry. He brings more stability to the team. And also, when it's the World Cup, you play your best team. Now, these bilateral series, you can try and mix and match some players.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll never know. When will you ever... Because India A doesn't play a lot of T20. India plays a lot of one-day cricket and play a lot of four-day cricket. So in T20, how are you going to see how good are the next guys to play them in the bilateral series? They're important, but ultimately it's a build-up to the next World Cup. You're trying to get your best again because you want your next team to play 40 games, all of them, 50 games, all of them before the next World Cup comes. That's what England has done. If you see the England 11, they've all played 70, 80 games. So they are all in sync with what's going on. What's the prerequisite for the team? Whereas suddenly, that's why I said we messed up with Shami. He hadn't played last 35 T20s. He did well, that's a different question because he's a class apart. But he could have easily fallen flat on his face. Only somebody as good as him with his skill set and dum that he has. I know him closely. He's a damdar player. Skill set to hai. Skill set to hai. Uske bina aap udhar ja nahi sakte. But once you reach the India level, it's all about the dum you have. And Shami, it is a dum that got him. But we didn't prepare him well. Last 35 T20s, he didn't play for India. And suddenly he's saying, please come and bowl to the best in the world and give 6 runs and over. It's not fair on him. Is it?
But Joyda, matlab, I have to ask this question. You are talking about transition and everything, new players coming in, but suddenly again you're going back to the same Bhuvneshwar Kumar, 32, 33 now, and not trying someone like Umran Malik. India only play 9, 10 T20Is in the next 12 months. So, I mean, you need to give someone like Umran as many matches as possible.
Yeah, but you also want to win the series. So you can't try all of them together. Because, when you're captain, you also want 1 or 2 guys you can fall back on. Hardik could have taken Surya could have taken a break. But he's 32, 30. He doesn't want a break. He's got 5 years of cricket, 6 years of cricket left in him. He started late. He made his India debut when he was 29, 30. So Pant made it at 21. So Pant, if he plays till 35, he'll play 400 games. Surya will end up with 160, 70 games because he started late. So what I'm saying here is, you want some of them. You don't want a bowling attack which is, I don't know, Siraj, Umran Malik, Kuldeep Sen, Navdeep Saini. You don't want that because then there's no one guy to fall back on. You slowly mix and match and get your players because what will happen is when 3 of them play together and if 3 of them get carted, then all of them will lose confidence together. Here in difficult times, you can go to Bhuvi and say, Bhuvi, yaar, thoda bail out kar de. Ye 2 over humko dalna hai, tu dal de abhi. Iska thoda theek nahi chal raha hai. If that one go-to bowler is not there for me, then who do I go to? So I go from Umran, he's having a tough day. I go to Saini, he's having a tougher day. I don't know who to go to. So you've lost 2 players' confidence in one day instead of having one backup to get restored on. I hope I've got that message.
Yeah.
Right. Joyda, a very, let's say, comparatively young Team India has gone to New Zealand to play a series against New Zealand. Any particular youngster you would say, would be the standout player from Team India? Rather, who are you looking forward to?
Actually, anybody. This team, if you have a look at it, somebody like a Rishabh Pant at the top, he's 25. He's not 23. I know you've corrected me. And look
Joyda,
at
I've got that message. It's okay.
Okay, somebody like a Deepak Huda who's in and out, but also what number he plays. See, what's important, Damini, here is that, Okay, Deepak Huda plays 3 here, but when the big boys come, he plays 6. That's no good.
No.
If you're giving him 3, David Malan played 3, and even when the big guys were there, he came and played 3. Somebody else went back. Moeen Ali went back.
Right.
Because when I'm preparing somebody for a role, suddenly I can't say, okay, you do this role now, but when you go to the India team, your role is different. Then give him the different role. That's why we lost Venkatesh Iyer. Because Venkatesh Iyer did really well for KKR as an opener. He went in the India team, played number 6. He has no idea. He's never played there. But backing him on this, he went to MP and said, listen, I want to bat in the middle order now. Because India is looking at me in the middle order. Sharp, sensible, educated guy, you can make out. Because he knows if India I'm going to bat 5-6, what's the point of opening for MP? I'm not going to get opening, right? So similarly, if you have a Huda and you're getting him ready, if you've got a picture, so that's why I say a lot will change with the new selectors. They might say Huda ko 3 खिलाएंगे, Virat ko open कराएंगे, इसको ये करेंगे, उसको वो करेंगे. So with this, the total mindset and also the 5 men that come, they will also have to gel with their thinking because they're 5 different people from 5 different zones, from 5 different backgrounds, from 5 different thinking coming together. You're not going to Infosys or you're not going to TCS and saying, please do it for us. They are in a cauldron together. They are different people, random different people. So, to get everybody's ideas, what they're thinking, what they'll have the chairman, well, who the chairman will be, he's the one who puts the roadmap out. So there's a lot in it for you. So to answer your question, is somebody like a Deepak Huda, Washi, I think, has been injured for about a year and a half. So Washi will be important. I think somebody like a Yajuvendra Chahal, Siraj, I think will be a frontline bowler in a year or two. I think he's a fantastic bowler. White ball, red ball, skill set, dumb. So I'm bowling test matches in England. I think he's the next star, the next Shami that's coming up. So I think these ones, and a lot of them who are not playing will also ultimately play the Umran Maliks and all that. Everybody says 150. I agree, 150 is special. But these guys play 150 every day. New Zealand. So you got to be accurate. You still got to have your skill set. And Umran Malik is a work in progress. Ultimately, Umran Malik will play all 3 versions for India. Can you imagine Umran Malik when he's got his everything, his mojo? I mean, playing in England at Lords, 13 degrees, spitting rain, green wicket. Umran Malik at 150 with 4 slips and a gully. I'm dying to see that. But you got to wait for him to get there.
Right. And Shubhan, final question to you, because before I come to my final segment, is any particular player or players from both the countries you believe could fetch big in the upcoming mini IPL auction?
Ooh. From both the
Stumped, huh?
teams, I think.
You stumped.
It's, from India, I think each and every one of them have been retained by their franchises. There's no point releasing your current India 11 players. So I think if I look at the India squad, they all are in some or other franchisee. Yes, yeah. I don't think anyone has
No
been
Indian
when it.
player will ever be back
Yes,
in the
yes.
no chance.
Absolutely. But when it comes to the New Zealand team, I think I'll look at someone like Bracewell who can be a good buy in the IPL auction if he registers. A good bowler, a decent bat down the order, a gun fielder. And I think Darren Mitchell I think have been retained by Rajasthan Royals. I'll have to check again. But if he's in the market, if he's in the auction zone, then I'm definitely sure Darren Mitchell is going to fetch some bucks as well, including James Nisham as well. So these are the 2
And also, I
players
think these
all
guys will
rounders.
get more game time. Just to add on to Shubhail, like an Ish Sodhi
Yeah,
Yes,
doesn't play,
please.
but I think they'll more
yeah,
game time in IPL. That's more important. See, one is being
yeah,
part of the 24-member squad. I'll tell you names who are part of the KKR squad you never heard of. It's about
yeah.
playing in the 11. So I think people like Ish Sodhi and all who've been with IPL teams for donkey's years can finally come and say, I deserve a place in the 11. Look at my record. So it's about getting into the 11. One is getting an IPL contract. That's very good. But I know people who've not played one game in 3 years, 4 years, not even one game. So that is no good either.
Coming to the Indian player, I think will fetch more bucks. He has played India. I think number one is Mayank Agarwal. I think he's going to fetch some bucks because some teams need that Indian opener and possibly perhaps a captaincy leader option as well. So I think Mayank is going to fetch a few bucks regardless of the kind of form he has been in the last few months.
Okay. And as we approach towards the commencement of this second T20I, rather we can say the first T20I, because the first one did get washed out completely. My final segment, matchups and your respective player of the matches. So, Joeda, first, your matchups, and do I need to ask you the second question?
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you have to, because
Huh?
it's a new era. There's a U-turn, so you want to really find out if that has changed or not. But I think for me, with India batting first, I think it's the New Zealand fast bowlers against the Indian openers, not the openers, but the top
Okay.
four, because they could have a
Okay.
field day. I haven't looked at the wicket, nor have I seen the conditions. But once, it won't be easy for them. We could well be 6 overs, 28 for 2 or 3. That pegs us back. And it might not be a 180 game. It could be a 160, 150 game, depending on the conditions.
Okay.
And if it stays constant, if it's cloudy, which is often is in New Zealand, where it's cloudy and helpful to the seamers all day, then it's possible. Also, yeah, you don't need to ask me the second question, but let me just move on from those two, because those are always with me. I also want somebody like an Ishan Kishan doing well, because I really feel that he can play that he can bring that oomph into the team like a Prithvi does. Every time Prithvi plays, whether it's I was
Right.
doing on air with in Irani Cup, the way he was batting in the Ranji final last year, he only got 48, but you could make out that he is playing in a different uh, rail track than everybody else. His Farma is different, and because he's trying to cut that for himself, he's saying like a Sehwag used to be at that time. Sehwag batting in test matches and somebody else batting, was you could make out that they are a different league. So I think
Right.
he knows that there is a place for him if he does that. His entry to Indian team will be quicker if he can get a bat at 140, 150 strike rate. Then it'll be quicker for him, because then people will say, "Hey, he's kilo," and then how much he succeeds is what they are. So I really want some of the youngsters to come through, because you want a couple of young players to come through and push the ones in the 11.
Right. Shubhan?
I think I'll go with Adam Milne, Rocky Ferguson versus Rishabh Pant. This is a matchup which I want to witness how Rishabh Pant tackles express pace up front. And another battle I'm looking forward to is Ish Todi, Mitchell Santner versus Shreyas Iyer. Shreyas Iyer has a great record against spinners. So this is one matchup I want to witness. And apart from that, man of the match, given the kind of conditions, I think I'll be a bit lenient towards the New Zealand bowlers. I think it's going to be Lockie Ferguson.
Ah, Lockie Ferguson. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this was the pre-match show of the second T20I between India and New Zealand, and you were hearing my panelists Jaydeep Mukherjee and Shubhan Chakravarti. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining and sharing your thoughts with us. Let's hope rain doesn't play spoil sport, though the weather reports say there might be some spells of showers, though we hope we get a full game. And let's meet in the post-match show. Thank you so much.